What's going on, OmniBuddies? Mitch here, and today we are doing another OmniBuddy overview. What are we looking at? We are looking at a book that I have not seen. I don't think I've ever seen an overview of it. There probably is some out there, tons of them, but I rarely ever hear people talking about this book. It is by Jeremy A. Bastian. It is Cursed Pirate Girl. All right, so Cursed Pirate Girl is not all that talked about, but it is in some of the groups I've been in. And you know, if you've watched the channel for any amount of time, that I am a huge fan of Usagi Yojimbo. And Stan Sakai, the creator, was also on this book with Jeremy Bastian. I believe he did the lettering. So it's been recommended to me a ton. I've seen a ton about it. And actually one of my coworkers who barely reads comics, likes comics here and there, but she doesn't read a ton of them. She goes to some of the cons and even cosplays sometimes. Easy cosplay, like Where's Waldo and stuff like that. But she has fun. But she found this book too. I believe it was at Emerald City Comic Con. And so I heard all these people around me on the fringes talking about this book. And I have had eBay alerts and Mercari alerts set up for probably a year now, just waiting for this book to drop in at the right time when I had the funds and at the right time when it was priced right. I mean, it's only like 25 bucks, but it is sort of out of print. And so it can be up to 30, 40 bucks for the book. So I was just waiting, and I was able to score this book off eBay for, I think it was $10 shipped, and it is in remarkable condition. Anyways, just to say, not hard to find, but not the easiest to find at the cheapest price. So be patient, or just go out there, because you know what? Let's check out why this book's so awesome right now. All right, so here is the Cursed Pirate Girl Volume 1 hardcover by Jeremy Bastian. So here is the spine. Let's get that in focus. Really cool spine. And here's the back. This does retail for $24.95 USD. Again, it's not really, it's kind of out of print, not super hard to find or anything like that. It does have this really cool, let's see if we can kind of see it on there. I don't know, it's like got that embossed sort of feel, so it's got a little bit of texture to it. Really nice, really good looking. It does look water damaged. I know some people are always like, oh, my book's damaged. It's not. It just is made to look super old and kind of worn. And I do gotta say, this book, speaking of old and worn, it's the first graphic novel, I think, that I've ever seen that does this. Look at these pages. They're like all like torn up on the edges. And actually I noticed after reading it for a while, like I had some of these paper flecks on on me. They don't come off super often, but I did notice a few little ones on there. But it is super cool. It's like an old pirate map paper kind of thing going on. So the scale of this book is more of like a premiere hardcover. So here's another Archaia book, Mouse Guard, if you know those hardcovers. So it is a little bit shorter, obviously narrower. So that's an Archaia book, and since this is a Dark Horse imprint, I grabbed another Dark Horse Deluxe, which, as you know, are smaller than regular, like oversized hardcover deluxe edition from like Marvel, Image, and DC, but it is the same size and height and depth or width, whatever you want to say, as the regular Dark Horse hardcover deluxe editions. So that's that. This is a super cool book, all black and white, which is super fun. I dig all black and white books. So some people don't, some people do. I don't mind either way, but I actually really do maybe prefer black and white. I don't know, just so I can appreciate the line art, even though I do really love some color here and there too. So this has great end sheets and end paper on it. Absolutely love when they do things like this, especially maps, when it's just art. Super cool. It's such a missed opportunity if it's just blank. But this they used for art. This one is super cool. I'm going to save this for the end because this is the end paper, but it does have a little bit of a surprise on the end sheet, and I've never seen that on end paper before. So let's get into it. This is Cursed Pirate Girl, written and illustrated by Jeremy A. Bastian from Archaia, an imprint of Dark Horse. So basically, right off the bat, you start off, this does include 3 chapters and an epilogue, some cover art, and some really fun extras in there, actually. So let's get into it. So basically, you start off and you are swarmed with details, and it is kind of nuts. I mean, when you get up close on there, geez, just so much detail goes into this. No wonder it takes so long for Jeremy Bastian to come out with another issue. It just takes forever, but you know what? When you're drawing details like this, that is forgivable. So you start off with the governor and his daughter and dealing with some politics and stuff going, dealing with the kind of riffraff and the scum and lower society, the peasants, as it were, and how they deal and treat people. And then you jump into kind of the docks and the beach, and you meet this little girl, this pirate girl, and she shows some deckhand boys, some rough and tough boys, what's up and how to actually handle themselves in a fencing. And they think they're going to teach her a lesson, but she shows them how it's done, and she is the Cursed Pirate Girl as she introduces herself. And then it kind of, so you've got both characters, and then you start to get a little bit of mystery with some dreams, and then all of a sudden the governor's daughter and the Cursed Pirate Girl are meeting each other and talking, and then the Cursed Pirate Girl is wearing off on the governor's daughter, and she's not behaving too well, and the governor's embarrassed, and then all of a sudden revenge has to take place, and something happens to the Cursed Pirate Girl, and things happen, and now she is going somewhere and going on this adventure. And so this whole plot really is about who the Cursed Pirate Girl is, why she's cursed, how she's cursed, and what she does about it. And she's also kind of an orphan, and where is her dad, and who is her dad, and is that a truth or a lie? And she has a parrot friend who is he a helper or is he not, and is he telling the truth? And this is where it gets extremely high fantasy and really fun, when she goes into the depths of the ocean looking for her lineage and who she actually is. I mean, look at this art, just incredible art in here. And sometimes I will say I got a little bit lost on the page, but you just kind of trust the process in the flow from left to right, top to bottom, and you do pretty well in it. But there was a couple points where I was like, whoa, where am I supposed to be looking? And that is where I wish that this book was scaled up to either a full-size, oversized hardcover, or I'd love to see an absolute edition of this book. But it gets nutty with the characters they meet, and the people she meets, and the places she goes, and the settings, and wow, just incredible stuff by Jeremy. I cannot fathom how long it takes him to do a single page and how he does all this. I mean, look at, I just stopped on some of these pages and I was just looking at some of the characters in here, like upside down people eating, and giants and tiny people and people with huge heads and animal people. It just gets crazy. I won't say too much about what happens. It does leave on a bit of a cliffhanger on who she is and what's going on, so I cannot wait to read more, and we need more of this collected. So then we jump into the extras, which is kind of some cover art gallery in here, some really nice pieces here, and then we get into this really cool piece where the royal portraitist is trying to make a portrait of the Cursed Pirate Girl, and goes into interviewing all the people on who she is and what she looks like and all of that, and his adventure of making this portrait. So if you don't want to see this next part where you get to finally see the portrait, you might want to skip ahead like 10 seconds. So I'll give you a little bit, but this is really cool how the end sheet is actually folded up and becomes like a huge spread. So, okay, I'm gonna open it now, skip like 10 seconds if you don't wanna see it, but here it is, super cool. It's like this big wanted poster, friggin' awesome, absolutely loved it. And with all these torn edges, it looks like an actual wanted poster from, you know, back in the day. But yeah, that's it. And then, so that's got a little end sheet art there with obviously the fold out art, and then the end, there it is. All right, so that was the quick overview of Cursed Pirate Girl. I have to read more of this book. Obviously, it ends at a bit of a cliffhanger, and I really need to read more of it. I know there is more out there. It is very slow to come out. I believe some came out last year. Archaia is now an imprint of Boom. So if you want it, you need to heckle Boom to get more hardcovers and to get more collected. And definitely encourage Jeremy Bastian to keep plugging away. I see why, after seeing this art, why it takes him so long to come out with each issue and each book, because I have not seen... I have seen this detail, but I have not seen this very often, how much detail goes into these pages. It is crazy, but it is phenomenal. My only issues with this book is because there is so much detail, and I heard that he actually draws at this scale, but I really wish that the book was in the full oversized hardcover. I mean, I want all my books in oversized hardcover editions, but this one really needs that oversized hardcover or even absolute edition treatment, because it is so finely detailed. It actually is sometimes hard to look at because there's so much going on. It's hard to pick it out. So if it was scaled up, or if he drew at a higher, on a bigger piece of paper or whatever, I think it would actually be easier to read, because your brain could pick out more details and see the page a little bit easier and look in. And then because it is hand lettered, which is awesome, but it is so small, it sometimes is a little bit hard to read. So I actually had to read it in smaller chunks, like 15 to 20 minute chunks, which actually made me take the whole weekend to read it and savor it, which was pretty cool, rather than just tearing through the whole thing. But it gave my eyes a little bit of a rest too as I was reading through it, and gave my brain a rest from trying to decipher all these crazy details. Other than that, super cool story, very original. It's like a Peter Pan, I believe on the back of the book it's got like this generation's Alice in Wonderland, which is very apropos, I think. It's like Pirates of the Caribbean meets Peter Pan meets Alice in Wonderland, but super cool. Got a little bit of a dark, weird twist to it, but also very fairy tale. And I think like my 9-year-old daughter, she could definitely pick this up and read it too without being too creeped out. And my kids, you know, for better or worse, get pretty scared of pretty benign things in my mind, but you know what? Every kid's a little bit different. But so I think my oldest daughter could actually read this and be pretty okay with it. So it's definitely, I think, in my mind, an all ages book. But yeah, go out there, find it, find Jeremy Bastian, hit up Boom and Archaia and tell them we need more of this book. Go out there and find this book, whether it's on eBay, Mercari. If you find it in your local comic shop, hit them up, grab it, and you know what? Mention all of them on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, whatever you're on. Let them all know that we need more. But that's it. Don't forget to like, comment, hit the bell, or like, comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, do all those things. But the most important thing to do is comment. Let me know in the comments what that weird one-off book that you absolutely love out there is, and why we should all get it. Let me know in the comments. I love talking with you all, so don't forget to do that. Love talking with you all. All right, that's it. Take care. stay cool.